Yeah, I had to move because the AC was coming on. But they started using the sirens, right? You guys can hear it, And as soon as I get my phone to record, then they stop afterwards. Okay, but I did got a little bit of it, but they were doing it for about a couple of seconds before. Very distinct sirens that they will use. All right. So again, in your predator department, have me on the remote neural monitoring in home surveillance, and they were using a sirens before. That siren was the ambulance, but prior to that, just about maybe I would say when I walk into the kitchen. See, when I walk into the kitchen, uh, talk about the fixation drill. Everything I'm looking at is green. So let me turn so you guys can see. So behind me is a green curtain, right? And whenever I walk into the kitchen, and at times if I stare at the curtain, because it's right in my peripheral vision, but when they hijack my consciousness, there is a staring thing that happens, right? So it's like the hijacking of your conscious mind. So you're fixated on a particular thing. There are times when I'm looking at certain things and I have to, whenever, like, for example, if I look at this green apple slicer, because the color's green, they will start using the sirens, right? Also, color pur- color purple cover, right? This is purple cover is a color of royalty. And you see, they understand these things. So when I talk about the DNA and how they were looking within our DNA, black people's DNA, particularly black men, for the ancestors, meaning that, I talk about how they are trying to find the ancestors, the brilliant black men and black women who built the society and the civilization called Kemet. And so they understand that, our ancestors reside within us, right? They give you religion to not look within, but to look outside of you as a control mechanism, just like the video I did on the Wizard of Oz. And I posted an article today from the 1990s about the Violet Initiative, right? In terms of they were looking at the DNA of black boys to say they were looking for a violent uh, genetic trait. That's not what they were looking for. They were looking for, like I said, the ancestors. They were looking for those that came before us, right? Specific group of people. Okay, they understand who the descendants of the kings and queens of Kemet are. You have a African American man who is a descendant of the King Ramses, right? So they know, there are those amongst us who are of royal bloodline. Even though I think all of us are royal bloodlines, um, because I don't think any less of our ancestors, whether they held a high position in the society or they were just the regular people within the society, right? We are all, our ancestors understood that we are all divine masculine, the divine masculine, the divine feminine beings. They understand it. They understand that when they have a child or children, that is their resurrection. That is their ability to live on within future generations. So they had a different concept of what the Europeans gave us in the form of religion, about believing in Christ and who believe in me will have life ever after. Yeah, who believe in me? You and I, man and woman, believing in ourselves to let us go and make man and woman in our own image. Right? Understand that. So I'm giving it to you in a very scientific way. They give it to us in a religious way while they study our science and they take all our sciences. Right? This is why we're stuck in the position that we're in. This is why, they're using the sirens and such and such. This is why they're breaking up our families. This is why they turn us against each other. Wake up, wise up, stand up. Talk to you guys in the next video.